When it comes to CPU market, AMD has been rolling out there for a while and Intel was in trouble. So they had to do something to compete with AMD. Now Intel came up with the 10th generation CPU lineup, which I'll be speaking in this video. So make sure you watch this video till the end so that you won't be missing out any part of this video. With that said, hey guys, I'm Amir from the Sci-Fi Thief, and without wasting any more time, let's jump right into the video. These new CPUs are based on 14nm process technology. Well, AMD has got an advantage over Intel as their 3rd generation CPU lineup offers 7nm process technology. Now the advantages of having a less lithography processor is that they'll be much more power efficient and will deliver a lot more performance. Though Intel's 10th generation CPUs are based on their older technology of 14nm, these processors will lack in power efficiency and will also lack in much more performance and features you get to experience in 7nm or even 10nm processors itself. Now speaking of the processor itself, Intel has got to offer 17 CPUs from their 10th generation CPU lineup. The first is the Intel's flagship processor, that is i9-10900K. Well, this is a 10-core 20-thread CPU which has a single core boost clock of 5.3 GHz and a multi-core boost clock of 4.9 GHz. This CPU has a TDP of 25 W. Well, 5.3 GHz single core boost clock on a 10-core CPU is not that impressive as compared to what AMD is doing with their CPUs, such as AMD's Ryzen 3900X offers you 12 cores and 24 threads. The cost of this processor is going to be around $500. Well, I would suggest you to spend some extra $50 so that you can get Ryzen 3900X, which is a 12-core 24-thread CPU, where you will be getting extra 2 cores and 4 threads and a lot more features such as PCI Gen 4 support. The second is the i9-10900KF. Well, this is the same i9-10900K processor, but it has got no integrated graphics. The 3rd and 4th CPUs from i9 lineup are the non-K variants, where again you will be getting a 10-core 20-thread CPU, but it has a single core boost clock of 5.2 GHz and a multi-core boost clock of 4.6 GHz. Now moving down, we have i7 CPU lineup. And it's good to see that Intel has enabled multi-threading over i7, i5 and i3 processors. The i7 lineup offers you 8 cores and 16 threads. The first is the i7-10700K. Well, this is again a 8-core 16-thread CPU which has a single core boost clock of 5.1 GHz. This has a TDP of 25 W and this will directly compete with Ryzen 7 3700X. The second is the i7-10700KF, which is as same as i7-10700K, but it has no integrated graphics. Then the 3rd and 4th are the non-K variants of i7, which are 10700 and 10700F, which has the single core boost clock of 4.8 GHz and they have a TDP of 65 W. Speaking of the price of these i7 processors, the first is the i7-10700K. It's gonna cost you around like $400, and the lowest is the i7-10700F, which will cost you around $300. Now coming down, we have the most loved processors for budget gamers or streamers, that is i5s. Now this time i5s, as I said, they come with multi-threading enabled, so they will directly compete with Ryzen 5 3600 or 3600X. So with 10th generation i5 you'll be getting 6 cores and 12 threads. The first is the i5-10600K. This has a single core boost clock of 4.8 GHz and has 6 cores and 12 threads. Well, since it's a K variant, this processor can be overclocked to get that extra performance out of it. This i5-10600K will cost you around $280. Then the last processor from i5 lineup is the i5-10400F. Well, this is a 6-core 12-thread CPU. It has a single core boost clock of 4.3 GHz. It comes with no integrated graphics and will cost you around like $180. Then the last processor lineup is the i3s, which are primarily focused for budget PC builds. Now this time i3 processor lineup will come with 4 cores and 8 threads and will directly compete with Ryzen 3 3100 and 3300X. This CPU has a single core boost clock of 4.3 GHz and none of these i3 CPUs are overclockable. The price of these CPU will start with $120 till $160. Now the high-end Intel's 10th generation CPUs such as i9 or i7 will support DDR4 memory at maximum 2933 MHz, whereas the i5s and i7s will support DDR4 memory at 2666 MHz. Now the reason there are a lot of CPUs in this lineup is that Intel wants to sell you the high-end CPUs or the K variants so that you can get the CPUs which are overclockable. They could have reduced multiple CPUs by providing all overclockable CPU, which would have been helpful to a lot of people. Now since these CPUs are running 14nm old technology, in order to achieve these high clock speeds, Intel had to make a thinner and much more efficient CPU die to provide good performance with thermal stability. In order to run these CPUs, you need to buy a motherboard that supports Intel 10th gen CPUs such as Z490, which has LGA1200 socket. Now these motherboards will support 2.5GB Ethernet and Wi-Fi 6. Now as Intel's motherboards will last for around 2 generations of Intel processors, then this motherboard might be enough for 11th generation processors, but as majority of these motherboards will not come with new features such as PCI Gen 4, it isn't an ideal option to buy this motherboard and wait for Intel's 11th gen processors. Now there's gonna be a solid competition between AMD and Intel, since AMD has enabled multi-threading in all its CPU lineup, and the only thing missing is that only few of Intel's CPUs are overclockable, whereas majority of CPUs available from AMD are unlocked so that you can overclock to get that extra performance out of it. Now speaking of performance, Intel's 10th generation processors will perform very well compared to the last or previous generation, but still AMD has got an upper hand since it offers a lot more features such as PCI Gen 4 and it comes with 7nm lithography. So it is easy for AMD to outperform Intel's processors, but still there are some places where Intel can show up such as gaming, live streaming and stuff where Intel has an advantage over there and it can perform well, but still we should wait and watch until the proper benchmark of these CPUs arrive. Now my views on these new Intel CPUs is that Intel should have upgraded from 14nm technology to maybe 7nm technology. Well, this might have made the processor much more power efficient and will deliver a lot more performance. And Intel should have also added features such as PCI Gen 4, which would have made the processors much more future proof and efficient. So that's all for today's video guys. If you liked my video, then hit the like button. If you loved it, then subscribe to my channel and also turn on the bell notification icon. See you in another one. Till then, bye bye.